Hello everyone! Welcome to a video on the basics of poker. Today we're going to take a look at reading the board in No Limit Texas Hold'em. So as you're playing your poker game, it is a good idea to take a look at the community cards dealt in the middle of the table and try to figure out what hands are possible, but more importantly, figure out in your head what hands are the best hands at that given moment. So we're going to go ahead and actually deal some flops, some turns, and some rivers. I've got my deck of cards right here. And we're going to go ahead and go over to my desk and we're going to go ahead and deal them. So let's get started. All right, the camera's aimed at the desk. I've got my deck of cards right here. Let's go ahead and deal some boards. So let's go ahead and deal a flop here. We'll just go ahead and get started. Okay. We're doing this completely at random. So we have here a Jack of Hearts, 8 of Hearts, and 4 of Diamonds. So one thing to ask yourself right now is what hand is considered the nuts at the moment? So what hand is considered the best possible hand that one could have based on the 3 community cards currently dealt here and the players, any player's 2 hole cards. So it's pretty obvious at this point. There's no flush yet, but there are 2 hearts. So if someone has a couple of hole cards that are also hearts, we'll have a flush draw. Currently, the best possible hand is a set of jacks, 3 jacks if they have pocket jacks. Obviously, the context of that may well be determined that someone may or may not likely have 3 jacks in this case. So that's something you have to determine for yourself when you play. But right now, as you can see, the nuts is currently 3 jacks. There's a possible flush out there. Let's go ahead and deal another community card. So this will be the turn. Now here's a good explanation right here. So now we have the 4 of clubs. The board is paired 4s. So this brings possible full houses into the mix, because previously it was not possible for a full house to exist. So if the guy with pocket jacks would now have jacks full of 4s. Though the best possible hand in this case at the moment is 4 4s if someone has pocket 4s. Chances are pretty slim, but it's a good note to keep in your head when you're playing, when things like that can be possible. We'll go ahead and deal the river card anyway, just for the fun of it, but 4 4s is still going to be the best hand here regardless. So a 7 has come on the river. So somebody with 9 10 has made a straight. 7 8 9 10 jack. So now there's a straight possibility out there. Though in this board there is no possible flush, as there's only no more than 2 of the same suit. There has to be at least 3 for a possible flush. And if more than 3, well, that increases the chances tremendously. So on this board, you can see best possible is quad 4s, not necessarily likely. The only straight that's gotten there is with the 7 8 and the jack. There's no possible flush. And the only really strong hands out there besides the 4 4s would be full houses at this point. And of course, somebody could have a single 4 for 3 of a kind as well, which can be very likely in hands where it was not raised pre-flop. Let's go ahead and deal another example. Cards are flimsy. Flimsy, but they're of good quality. They don't break. I actually got this deck of cards in Vegas during my last trip to replace the ones that we've had for over a decade that were also really good quality, but they started to finally break. But all right, let's deal the jack again. 4 and 5. All right, so once again, it looks like 3 jacks is the best possible hand at the moment on this flop. Pretty dry board. There's not many draws other than if someone has 3 deuce, 3 6, 7 6 for open-ended straight draw, ace 3 for gut shot to the wheel, ace deuce, 7-8 for a gut shot if a 6 comes for the 8 high straight. So just some hands to think about as you're playing. Let's deal a turn card. So this completes the straight for somebody with 6-7. That actually would be the nuts in this case at the moment. 6-7, the best possible hand. Yes. However, there are now 2 clubs on board. So possible flush if a third one comes on the river. Also, somebody with 9-10 has an open-ended straight draw looking for a queen or a 7. 10-7 would need a 9 for a gut shot. So there's some hands to think about. Let's take a look at the river. Oh wow, board pairs 4s again. So depending on how the betting rounds turned out, you may or may not have to consider the possibility of a full house of the board pairs. But the best hand in this case would be 4-4s once again in this example. But more likely than not, if there hasn't been that much betting going on throughout the hand, quads and full house will most likely not be there unless somebody was slow playing him. If there was betting after the 8 came, a straight would be more likely. Let's go ahead and do another hand. And of course, if there's no betting at all, it goes checked around. Less likely that someone's going to have anything. So this is not like a strategy session. We're just looking at the basics of reading the board in this video. So just to think of the possibilities that are out there to keep in mind when you're actually playing a hand. All right, so let's go ahead and just deal another sample flop. All right, this one, 10 of clubs, 9 of clubs, 4 of spades. So we have 2 clubs. So somebody who has clubs in the hole will have a flush draw. It's also possible for a straight as well. The best possible hand at the moment is 3 10s. Let's go ahead and deal another card. Oh wow, another 4. I'm not shuffling these cards good. So full houses and quads are possible once again. Most hands are not this. Oh wow. All right, I'm gonna have to shuffle these. But if you see a run out like this, I probably wouldn't think that someone has a 4 at this stage. They would have folded it on the flop or pre-flop most likely. But yeah, so there's like no other draws. 10 and a 9 for full house. But yeah, a single 4 it would be the best hand. Anybody with a single 4 has the best hand with this board. Second best hand would be pocket 10s for 10s full of 4s. Then pocket 9s for 9s full of 4s. And then I think pocket aces for 4s full of aces. If my memory is correct here, but just some things to think about. We'll go ahead and deal one more. This time I'm gonna make sure these cards are not giving me 4s all the time. I think I'm just gonna release the video. We're not gonna edit it. Going in raw. All right, we got a 5, a queen, and a 10. Okay. So right now, a person with pocket queens will have 3 queens. That's the best possible hand at this moment. A couple of clubs mean that there are flush draws out there if another club comes. We haven't seen a flush come yet. There we go. Speak of the devil. So with this turn card, now the best possible hand at the moment is any 2 cards with clubs, with at least one of them being an ace. Ace king of clubs, ace queen of ace queen of clubs, ace jack of clubs, all the way down to ace 2 of clubs. So it doesn't matter which what the final club is, as long as the player has 2 clubs with one of them being an ace, then they got the best possible hand on this board at the moment. But there's still a river to be dealt. There's that 4 again, but this time that's the only 4. And yeah, same thing here. Best possible hand is a flush. The player has to have exactly two clubs for both of their hole cards, and the best possible flush is any one with the ace of clubs. There is also the Jack 9 for the straight as well. That's the most likely straight out there. We'll go ahead and deal one more for you guys. All right. Here comes the flop. Wow, all diamonds. So immediately we have a flush for anybody with a couple of diamonds in their hand. So any ace X of diamonds is currently has the nuts at the moment. Though somebody with 8, 9 of diamonds would be looking for a straight flush. And of course, if the board pairs, that brings possible full houses into the mix. But right now, if you have like ace deuce of diamonds, for example, you're sitting pretty. Let's go ahead and deal a turn. King of spades, that doesn't change anything. If you did have the nut flush on the flop, slow play might be good there to get somebody with a king to pair up. Maybe the king of diamonds. Play with the king of diamonds. And the river card. Okay, now we got a paired board. Best possible hand in this situation is of course quad tens. Not likely, but it's good to know. And full houses are now possible. Of course, context is important, and paying attention and while you play to figure out if a full house is possible based on the betting activity going on during the hand. But other than that, that was 11 minutes of me dealing flops and turns and rivers. So hopefully this helps you understand the importance of reading the board, because if knowing that you don't have the best hand or a very strong hand, you'll know that there is a stronger hand out there that an opponent might have, especially in an example where someone is calling your bets on the flop and on the turn, and then a card that hits their hand, that likely hits their hand, comes up on the river. Let's say a third spade on a with 2 spades already on the board. Somebody got and then all of a sudden they start to bet, or they raise your bet on the river. You gotta start thinking, did that river card help them all of a sudden? You gotta think for a moment there. But if you got any questions about this type of exercise here, reading the board and while you're playing, please post it in the comment sections. If you got any other questions you want me to answer for a future video about No Limit Texas Hold'em Poker, please post them as well. If you enjoy this exercise, if you learned something, or if you just enjoyed me talking, go ahead and hit the like button. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, share the video with others, hit the bell icon to be notified once I release my next video. And I'll see you guys for the next one. Have a good rest of your day, and go make it happen.